Hello, everybody. Making sure we're all set up here. Like that. Bring it down just a notch. There we go. Isn't that great? All right. I think we've got that all set up. Hopefully the lighting is okay. And yeah, so welcome. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I've got all my stuff scattered around. Uh-oh. Excuse me. All right, so I am really excited about this because I'm working on a new painting series that I will be announcing hopefully later in August. And I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about it. You might catch on as I paint this today because this is number 3 so far in the series. So yeah, I'm super excited about it, and I have sort of just ideas out the wazoo. So I'm super, super thrilled. So I'll kind of share with you my process for how to do one of these, and it'll be a part of the series. So, and the series will be for sale later in August, and they'll be kind of launched with my website as well because I'm revamping my website. So, yeah, super excited about it. Let me pull up my image here. Make things smaller so I can see comments. If you have any comments, questions, pointers, anything along the way, please do not hesitate to put them in the comments or just say hi. I like to know who's watching. All right, this is where my black paint was. I was like, where did my black paint go? All right, so I've got my palette, my handy dandy paper palette, and I just painted the whole canvas a while ago, so it's dry. But I painted it this pink color. And what I'm going to do now is, let's see. And I'm not going to show you my reference photo. It is a photo that my brother took. So, and I've asked permission to use it. So that's what I am painting from here. And I'm going to start by making a sort of dark green. I have this, I'm using acrylics, by the way, today. But I have this heavy gel gloss. It's like a medium, acrylic medium. Thick, clear, drying acrylic medium. It kind of keeps the paint wet longer so it can kind of act like oil paint, and it makes it a little bit thicker, and I can kind of glob it on a little bit more. So I'm liking this a lot. I'm using this, but I'm going to make a kind of a olivey green color. So my warm yellow and my green blue. Oh, sometimes paint gets everywhere. Happens. It's okay. A little bit of a red color is always handy because if you're going for more neutral colors, like an olive green is really a brown green. And so you kind of need all your primaries to make that happen. So I've got that, and I'm going to take some of this out with a palette knife. So see how that's just like kind of gloppy, gooey. It looks like glue. It's actually very similar to like Elmer's glue. I'll put some of that down on the palette. Soak that so it doesn't get sticky. And we're going to take the big brush. I've been using, and you guys know this about me if you've watched some of my live streams, I tend to use the same brush for everything. Same brush in a project. It's not like I have one favorite brush that I use for absolutely everything. I just use one size when I'm doing one whole thing. It's mostly because I'm lazy. If I was doing it correctly, professionally, I would switch different sizes. But I kind of like the look also of sort of a consistent shape of brushstroke. So I'm going to mix my blue and my yellow together to get a dark green. Put a little bit of red in it to really neutralize it. I do want this first layer to be pretty dark, so I might keep it at that. I know it's maybe hard to tell, it looks black on the camera, but this is the color. I should actually switch this light just a little bit so that when I hold stuff up to the camera, you guys can see it a little bit clearer. There, now I'm a little bit brighter. So here is the paint color. Voila. So this is going to go up here. Now I'm having to assess. I don't know if you guys can see the bottom of my canvas very well, but I'm just going to cover some of this first. And we're going to put in a very low to the ground type of tree here. Now I love bright colors. I just do. And when I'm painting, I've loved, and this has been like for years and years, I love putting like bright underpaintings down. So this pink here is my super bright underpainting. And I like letting it peek through. Like the whole idea is that color is usually an opposite color to what colors are going to be in the painting. So if the painting, generally the picture you're working from is mostly cool, underpainting should be warm. And vice versa. If I have a really warm painting, I'll do a really cool underpainting. So, and I'm painting my sides as I go because otherwise I hate myself afterwards because I forget to do that. I'm sorry, I don't hate myself. I just kick myself for not doing that. So then I'm going to come in here and I'm honestly going to fill most of this in here. With that sort of dark green. Oh, I didn't put any of this globby stuff in there. Do a little bit of that. It, even though it looks white, it goes into the paint clear. Like Elmer's glue, and it'll dry clear for sure. But it just helps make more of the paint and keeps it kind of thick. So you can see I'm leaving some of the, oh, you probably can't see that yet. It's okay. I'm going to move up here very soon. I just want to get this down because it is step number 1. Put a little bit over here. I don't know if I've said what these are yet. So if you have any guesses, you can put that in the comments. I, again, try not to share too much information on this series yet because I want to get more going, and I'm coming up with a title for the series and a date that it'll be released. So all that stuff I want to work on before and I'm obviously going to announce them and show them off once they're launched. So I don't want to show you all the information, give you all the information until I'm ready to do so. But if you know someone who's looking for art for their house, or anything like that, like send them my way because this series will be for sale and could interest you or a family member who is looking. Okay, so I've got sort of that dark green down here. I'm going to do one more layer. Although I could wait to do that. Maybe I'll wait to do that. I'll move up to the sky for you guys. Oh, I just said it. I'll move up to the top. Let's see. So my next plan, I'm going to squeeze out some purple, dark purple on my palette. I do have this pink still, which is kind of handy because I can maybe dig into that as well. So I got the purple. I might, well, no, that's the pink's going to be that. Let's see. I might need my white out. I don't need it quite yet necessarily, but oh, that one doesn't. This brand doesn't let you twist off the top, at least to my knowledge. Can't figure it out. So just doing this, which I had an art teacher tell me that if you use this, it actually dries out the paint faster than if you unscrew the top, but this brand doesn't let you do that. So we're not doing that. Oh, and we might need a little bit of black. I don't use a ton of black these days, but I need a little bit to keep it dark. And then I don't have ultramarine blue down, so we're going to put that down as well, so that we are ready. And we've got enough of the, let's put a little bit more of this guy on our palette. Scoop it out, plop it down, kind of a thing. There we go. Screw on the top of this. I guess I don't need to narrate everything I'm doing, but you came to watch, so this is what you're going to get. Okay, so I want to make a dark gray color. Like kind of a blue-green. So I'm going to just scrape off what I have here, add it to my medium stuff. I'm going to add in this blue. I'm going to add in a big chunk of purple. I just have to kind of mix it to see what's going to happen because you don't really know until you put stuff in there. Okay, so obviously it's going to be way too blue. Add a touch of black. Add a little bit of red to neutralize it. Ever since being pregnant and giving birth, I haven't really touched oil paint since before being pregnant. So I've been kind of trying to find ways to make acrylic act like oil paint. Just because the oil paint has a lot more chemicals and the smells and things, so I avoided it while being pregnant. And it's kind of hard to get back into it. I do like oil, but it's just messier and it does stink and it's more chemical-y. So I've been finding ways to kind of make acrylic work for me. This medium stuff is one of them, and to try my hardest to make my paintings look like they're oil painted, which I don't know if that's happening, but sometimes they definitely don't. I don't like the way acrylic dries sometimes, but okay. It needs to be a little greener. We're going for a little bit more on the green side. Okay, that'll work for now. It's a good first layer. Okay, so with this color, same big brush that I'm using, I'm gonna let's see. Sometimes it's helpful to scrape off what's on your palette knife first, because that stuff sometimes gets wasted. And we're gonna come up here, and I'm looking at my source material here, and I need to figure out. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Which section of this I'm using? I think I want to do that little section, because this, the proportions of this canvas are weird. Obviously, tall and skinny, and the picture I'm working from is not that way. So I have to like figure out like how do I want this to work. Okay. So we're gonna come in. We're gonna do. Ooh. What is it? Looks like nothing right now, right? But yeah, I try to work. Most of the time, I'm working from my own photography. I take a lot of pictures of things when I travel and go places, and even when I don't go places, I take a lot of pictures. So I try to work from my own photos so that I avoid copyright issues, obviously, and so I can fully call it my own. You know, I saw the thing, I took a picture, I documented it, and then I'm going to go home and paint it. Like, it just feels more genuine and real when you do it that way. But in this case, I'm borrowing a picture that my siblings are all really good at taking photos. They got into the photography side of things and nice cameras and all that. And so sometimes I, mooch off of them a little bit because they take awesome photos and post them on Instagram. And so I often like text them and be like, hey, is it okay if I use this picture and paint it for this thing? And they're like, yeah, go for it. So that's nice. Free, amazing photography from siblings and people. I'm actually liking this a lot. So far, it's very early stages, of course, but okay. Now I get to get up into the good stuff here. I'm trying style-wise going for more impressionistic type of a look, which I have to kind of remind myself of every time I sit down to paint on one of these from the series, because otherwise I kind of forget and I get too into the details and I want to make it look, super realistic. And it's like, no, I'm going for painterly so that from a distance it's like more accurate and intense. So you can remind me along the way if you want. Impressionistic. Okay, then we're gonna jump up here. And actually, I might add a little bit more white to our color here. A little bit more green, just a touch. And we're gonna go higher. Did I go high enough with this one? It's hard to tell. Maybe. Okay, then we're gonna go. This thing actually comes up a little bit more. And then this big thing comes across this way. Kind of joins it. Water. And again, I'm painting my edges as I go. Did I do that side? Yeah. So when I come over here and do the same thing on the side, you're just continuing the painting to the edges. Which is always hard to remember, but okay, liking it. And we're gonna go a little bit darker for this next section up here. Okay. I'm changing color slightly as I go along, so I'm noticing changes, and it's like, well, now's the time to shift the coloring a little bit if I notice that. We're gonna just kind of come up in here, fill in some of this. Oops, too purple. If something ever gets too much of a color, you use the opposite color to fix it. So it went too purple, put some yellow in it. Opposite on the color wheel. My brush is just like loaded with paint. The key to getting thick texture. I want this to be a little bit thicker. Just a little bit thicker. There we go. And then a bit darker. This is like a little opening that I want to leave there, and it gets really dark right about here. And that kind of comes down this way into some little dips going off the side. Important to remember. I want this to be a little bit deeper, a little bit darker, a little bit bigger. So we're going to go a little bigger. Actually, down in here could get a little bit darker as well. Kind of notice, the more you put down, you notice like where value increases. I am gonna kind of, as I go, make the stuff that's sort of a medium value, just brush lightly over the canvas to put down just a little bit of something so I can kind of keep my values in check. Otherwise, it's really hard to know what goes where until I put down a little bit more value there. Okay, now we have to go up higher. And I'm going to kind of figure out where the outline of some of this goes. Yeah, this is kind of straight across here. And this kind of comes in softer, a little bit lighter. It's not super dark, but we're coming down and over this way. And then we'll go, this is where I might want to exaggerate where this is going to. I'm going to go way up here with it. Sometimes you have to mark, where's my end goal? Otherwise, if I kept going like this, everything would be squished more. I need to kind of plan. Should have probably done it a little bit sooner, but come up here and plan where the edge of the dark is. And that can go off the page that this can be. Yeah, I might change where that light opening is. It might not look like much because again, working with my dark values first. Adding a little bit more purple to that color as I go higher because it's not quite as blue gray kind of a color. So, is that what I want? No. Okay, there we go. And we're gonna stick this in here, and actually there's an opening. This should all be dark. And there's an opening right here. It's got kind of zigzaggies going on. We're going to lightly brush over that and enhance the other stuff around it. This should come up to be part of that. So all of this is dark. Gets a little bit bigger brush strokes as I go up because the texture gets bigger. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And then does this go? Yeah, this is the opening here. This is that next part. So all of this just has a texture, a value to it. Kind of like this. Man, my paint gets so sticky and dries pretty fast. Dries pretty fast. Ooh, too light. It's tricky when you start changing the color to know like how far to take it value-wise. Okay. This is going to go kind of creep up this way a little bit. And I might end up bringing this higher, but for now we're filling in this whole section with the gray. Trying to figure out where some more solid areas are, so I don't have the pink showing through everywhere. It needs to be solid in some areas. And remember, this is my little dark section down here. Gotta keep kind of dark. And these are pretty dark. That's what I want. Dark, 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 dark. And then they get lighter. And a little bit more blue purple as it goes up. This is why you need to have enough paint, because it just sucks up your paint. I do kind of want this section to be pretty filled in, because there's going to be some more variation in value kind of in that section. Okay. Paint the sides, paint the sides, paint the sides. Have I mentioned I hate painting the sides? Don't like it, but you know, gotta do it. Okay, oh, didn't paint this all the way over. Okay. Doesn't look like much. But we're gonna go in now and I just want to come up here now and add a little bit of something up in here. And this can kind of come up, fill this section. Paint's getting kind of tacky. Add just a touch of water. Something kind of like that. Okay, now I have the darks down for most of the area. Now, what I want to do is really going to bring it to life. This is my favorite part. And these are going to need a lot more work with value changes, but I'm going to fill in the negative space here. So all this pink, most of the pink is going to go. Obviously there's going to be little pieces of it here and there that stay, but like all this big chunk of pink is just going to be gone. So we're going to cover some of that up so we can start to see this come to life. And color-wise, we're going for kind of a sage, mossy, light green kind of a color. And let me see if I can, honestly, this green that we had earlier here for like our base color with white, and I do want it to be grayed down a little bit. Yeah. A little too intense though. We need a little bit to neutralize it a little bit more with some red. Have a lighter version, and we're going to have a darker version. So I've got kind of my 3 values here. It's not quite the right color though. There we go. Okay, so it's handy to have those values ready to go. I'm going to start with the darker one, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to place down that sort of greenish color. And I am filling more of the canvas and, covering more of the canvas with these layers because I don't want that pink to show quite so much in this area. Put a little hint of purple in there. Still keeping the painterly style, trying to keep my brush strokes random. And then we're going to go down into the medium version of this. Let it blend with that darker stuff. Oh, I didn't make enough of that. I didn't make enough of that paint. It's okay. This is why we do this. We train our eye to see it again and to do it again. There we go. Okay, I'm going to come around these little guys here, filling in more color, really letting it kind of soak into the canvas more, thicker paint so that I can cover little gaps. Yeah, man, my paint is just getting really tacky. I wonder if that stuff is like more fast drying. I don't know. I'm noticing it's not exactly doing what I thought it was going to be doing. And this comes over this way, a little bit more gray in it. As it hugs up close to these things. I'm like trying so hard not to like say anything about it, but you might know what it is, and that's great. Ooh, that's really light. We don't want it quite that light. These lights also are very warm, and so it's probably drying my paint faster. Okay, actually I want that to be a little bit darker. It's not quite, it's a kind of a back and forth game. You're just trying to figure out what am I going for here with colors, with feel. going to come up towards the top. Can't forget to paint our edges. Yeah, I'm liking it. Okay. It's exactly the color I wanted. Okay, so now I'm going to put down a good base of that, though, right on the edge of this here. It's kind of a, I guess it's sort of a money green almost. It's hard to explain, but okay, then we're going to go a little bit lighter. So this color I have here. Oh, yeah, that's it. This color is going to come up in here. And this is what's really going to make it. It's the contrast. This is why I paint, guys. This is why I paint. This is so much fun. I stick that in there. And it just pops against the dark edge. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. And then I want it to blend in some spots to that next color, which is what I'm having trouble with. I think these lights are really speeding up my dry time. But if I turn them off, you wouldn't see anything. Not quite, but. So I'm kind of mapping out where I want that color to go. And it really just fills this area. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's a little transparent right now because I think I put too much of that stuff. Let's see if we can get that color again. Yeah, it's really sticky, guys. Really sticky. I'm really liking that, though. Oh my gosh. And then this, it's kind of, I guess it's lighter, like right in here. Oops. Oops, too light. And that same color gets hinted at down here, just ever so slightly. But I want to come back up in here because this is where the goodies are, right in here, where this gets so much brighter. So much brighter. Oh, it's gorgeous. That contrast is that's why I paint. I honestly, every time I sit down to paint something like this that has that, it's like, that's what gives me so much joy. Thanks, Taco Time, for the nice comment. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I do a live stream every Friday for the most part, every week for sure. Just like this. And it's what I paint is different every time because I get bored. Okay, it's definitely brighter right in here. I'm gonna brush over some of this. This honestly shouldn't be quite so prominent. Yeah, see that? Just made it disappear. Well, not quite disappear, but soften. Made it soften and go away. I want to go around the side here, paint the edges. Oops. And then this color, you know, it hints, it kind of repeats itself up in here, just not quite as dark and prominent, as contrasty, I should say. I'm definitely out of that paint though. No. Yeah, I'm in the early stages of YouTube, so if you have friends or family or people that are interested in the content that I provide, like, please share it with others, because I'm trying to get subscribers up, obviously, so I can get more noticed on YouTube. So please do that, or whatever you can do to help out is beneficial. But look at that coloring there. It's so much fun. I'm brushing over a little bit more of a green in spots, because the reason I liked this photograph my brother took is that it does have like a very green glow to it. And so I might have to enhance that just a little bit in spots, because it's definitely a big part of this piece that I like so much. So I'm coming up in here and putting that in a little bit. And sometimes, you know, when you see something in a picture, you know, you have artistic license to enhance it, to make it what you originally saw or what impacted you. You know, you can do what you want. That's maybe a little too green there. I want it to be quite subtle, like just this hint of green. So now you can see that, like, I chose pink for a reason as my underpainting, because a lot of the tones are dark, cool greens and blues and stuff. So all of that made it very clear that I would use, I could have done I suppose more of a purple or something too, but uh-oh, my computer might die. That was the thing I forgot to grab before I did this, was my charger. So if I disappear on you, you'll know why, but we're coming up on an hour anyway, so thanks for watching, guys. If you are still hanging out, it means a lot to me, and hopefully is inspiring to you, because it's kind of my whole point with my live streams, is just to get you guys excited about, you know, whether you're a painter or not, excited about the things that you're working on. Whether it's sewing or singing or piano or knitting or theater or whatever, like, I think it's super beneficial as creative people to be fueling each other, sharing our process, sharing our work, all of that. So still going lighter. Like, I think I could probably go not white. It's not white because that would be too stark, but I'm just adding in a little bit more white to that sort of greenish paint and just putting that on top because it's fairly bright all in this area against that dark cloud edge. I don't know what this side is going to look like over here because I sort of like haphazardly putting it in there. But yeah, it's just so, oops, too much green. It's just so bright back in here. It's almost got kind of a blue. Ooh, too much. Phthalo blue is often a little too, yeah, there we go. A little too intense. But you can put a little bit in there. I think I put a little too much though. I like it when it's a little bit more on the sagey green side. Ooh. That's closer. It still is quite white over in here. And up in here too, just, well, bam, just kind of draws attention to itself right in here, which is just what makes this painting really pop. Yeah, like all underneath here is still pretty bright. I still have, I could work up the layers a little bit more. Again, if I disappear, it's because my computer died. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll probably stop my live stream here so that I don't take too much of your time. But thank you so much for watching and being a part of this painting so far. I'm really liking it. It's coming together. But yeah, I'm going to keep working on this for the rest of the week to kind of get it to a place that is where I want it to be. Finished and done. Again, this is part of a series I'm working on to launch at the end of August or towards the end of August. So stay tuned for more. So you don't miss out on the things I'm working on. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye.